Good evening, everyone. The Ascension Parish Zoning Commission session, November the 12th, is now in session. Staff, introduction, please.
Stacy Webb, Secretary for Planning and Development.
Cody Morton, Attorney for Zoning Commission.
Ricky Compton, Planning and Development Director.
Lance Brock, Zoning Official.
Thank you. What happened to the other lady?
It was her birthday.
I understand.
They're planning.
Okay. Can I motion for acceptance for the prior meeting, October 14th?
I think there's a mistake in it. I don't know if anybody noticed it or not. And correct me if I'm wrong. On the first page on the bottom, it says commission action. Motion was made by Matt Parish, seconded by Maury to recommend denial. And then it says that apparently we voted on the motion failed. Then a substitute motion was made by me and seconded by Josh to recommend denial on the next page, and the motion failed. So this is wrong. It says the substitute motion carried, and I think does anybody remember exactly what, or do we have to go back to the tapes to figure out what happened there?
I think the substitute motion failed, and then the original
motion carried, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, too.
A tie vote, right?
Well, I want to suggest that we make this correction. I tried to get it corrected before the meeting tonight, and I couldn't get, it's Patrice, or who was it?
I think she's secretary.
Yeah, I couldn't get her, but I think that this is an error in the minutes.
When we bring this up next week, have it, fix it, and
Can we have it, can we just?
Can we hold in
postpone
advance
the-
acceptance of these meetings?
Until it's corrected.
Until it's either corrected or it is clear.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to make a motion to that effect, or can we just?
I think this
No,
wants a
just don't-
motion, yes?
Don't approve this
no
motion.
action, yeah.
Okay, all right, no action.
Moving forward, no comments from the chairman. Item 5A, zoning review, ID 2550.
your turn. You have the crowd in rapt attention.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Dwight Poirier, I'm here on behalf of Smith Tank and Steel Real Estate. We are petitioning this commission to take some additional property that we purchased from Brickco and make it the same zoning that we have currently there. It's property that's situated on Highway 30. It's a mixed-use corridor, and we've acquired some additional property from the adjoining landowner, and we're trying to make our entire tract being consistent, and that would be mixed use. We present the information to the staff, and we're hoping that the commission would feel in our favor to approve the additional acreage we've required to be the same zoning that we currently have.
And the intended use is?
The intended use is the same as what we're doing. It's Smith Tank and Steel is a tank company. They build tanks for basically refineries and all storage and that type of stuff.
So they're fabricating on that side?
They're fabricating, and we're looking to do the same thing. We actually have a operation there now that we can operate on, but on the additional acreage, we plan to basically take down one of the buildings that are in existence now and relocate it, because it makes for a cleaner, if you would, operation, and just we don't anticipate any additional activity there, just kind of a different setup, if you would. And we've talked to the neighbors. Of course, the biggest neighbor is Brickco, which we bought the property from, and they, of course, didn't have any issue with it. And we've also, through my client, not me, but my client has talked to the adjoining residential landowners, the Staffords, who I don't think have any issues. And we're just looking to get our entire tract conforming under the same zone that the existing tract is before we acquire the additional acreage.
Staff comments?
Yes, staff recommends to accept the mixed-use quarter as recommended due to the existing use not having a negative impact on adjoining properties, and the request would be expanding an existing zoning district, which is mixed-use quarter.
Comments from commissioners? It doesn't look like there's going to be a public hearing.
Look at all those people back there.
But you have to
That being said,
officially open and close it anyway.
this time we open the floor for public hearing. That being said, we close the floor for public hearing. Can I get a motion?
I move to recommend approval of the rezoning to the council.
I'll second the motion.
It's been motioned second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Stirring speech.
Item 5B, public hearing to consider revision to the zoning table.
This revision proposes to eliminate the ability for RVs to be utilized as a residential structure on an individual lot. We are continuing to see citizens divide their property specifically to create individual lots for rental and then allowing the short-term placement of RVs onto this lot. This constant influx of temporary labor/workforce housing is degrading the communities where they're located and potentially decreasing the overall property values of those areas. This type of residential structure will still be allowed in one of 51 existing mobile home parks that contain 1,780 spaces. We would like to add that when we draft this ordinance for its final adoption, that we add a 6-month grace period. So from the time that the ordinance is adopted, the structures that are there today, if they need 6 additional months from the time the ordinance is adopted, so there'd be an effective date that no more permits would be issued for RVs on individual lots.
You want us to have a public hearing on that, or just recommend that?
We requested the public hearing, so we shall open the floor and see if there's anyone here to complain.
So wait, are we, the 6-month thing, explain that again. Are we
So-
grandfathering?
So today, there are RVs on lots.
Right.
And essentially, they're placed for 6 months because of our flood zone and how we deal with the issuance of residential permits. Those are effectively 6-month permits for RV.
Okay.
If we pass this ordinance, I'd like to give a grace period so those people can renew theirs for up to that 6-month date,
And that's it.
and then that's it. No more permits will be issued after that date.
Okay, I understand.
Well,
Thank you.
and just to point out, if you want the ordinance to be retroactive, we need to specifically state in the ordinance that this ordinance shall be retroactive.
Define what I need it to be retroactive for.
It doesn't need to be. If you're going to give a 6-month date from the adoption of the ordinance, give a 6-month grace period, why would it have to be retroactive?
Well, you still need to include that language in it. If you're gonna pass an ordinance and you intend for it to hinder people who are already abiding by the current ordinance, you need to specifically state that you want this ordinance to apply, and make it retroactive against current use of the property.
So any existing approved trailers shall be permitted to continue to be in existence until the grace period ends.
You're just saying that you intend for this ordinance to apply to things that are already in place. That's all basically what we're saying.
Correct.
So we just need to put that in the ordinance to say that this is specifically what we intend to do.
Okay,
Yeah,
speaking
that's true.
That's not a major hindrance.
And it's probably the most safest way to do it, even if it's a renewal, we're not gonna renew another 6 months or whatever, it covers us
Right.
to make sure,
I see what you mean,
in
right.
case there is an argument of retroactivity,
Is
ex
there,
post facto.
is there a modification to the proposal?
Well, how would that be worded in there? You just have to.
Could
add
you
a-
state that?
Well, do you have to put it's retroactive for how long? For 6 months back?
It'd be Forever back. I mean,
No,
Well,
it's a
yeah, but they only have
retroactive, it
6
applies
months
to any current existing.
I mean, just put a clause in the end that says this ordinance is intended to apply retroactively. So you can go back and enforce it against people who who are already having trailers on, or RVs on the property.
And they all have only a 6-month, maximum 6 months.
No,
You're gonna give a 6-month grace period, but you're just letting everybody know that the intent of this ordinance is to apply retroactively.
Okay.
You can put that in there.
Lance basically just said, if you're an RV and you're not in a flood zone, you don't come back to us. So the retroactive thing is basically saying, if you were there effective, let's just say July 1st, 2016, you're no longer legally allowed to be there.
Okay. Like it.
So we'll add that language.
Public hearing?
This time we open the floor for a public hearing. Anyone desires to speak? That being said, at this time, we close the floor for public hearing. Can I get a motion?
I'll move to make the recommendation.
With
With the retroactivity clause, as counseled by legal.
I'll second.
It's been motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion passes unanimously. Staff report?
Move for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment, second. Let's not worry if anyone opposes.
All right, we're done.
Good night, everyone.